Zelenskyy seeks a corridor for grain shipments, U.S. moves to seize planes from Abramovich. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said on Sunday that he had visited two towns near the front in the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine, where Russian forces are constant. He also visited Zaporizhia, which is partly under Russian control. The UK, meanwhile, said it is sending Ukraine multiple launch rocket systems that can strike targets up to 50 miles. The move has been coordinated with the US, which announced a similar military aid package last week. It comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a broad warning to the West on Sunday that his military will strike new targets if the West starts supplying Ukraine with longer-range missiles. Zelenskyy seeks corridor for grain vessels. Ukraine's president is asking for a secure corridor for Ukrainian vessels to be able to ship out grain and prevent food shortages in Africa. Volodymyr Zelenskyy told a news conference that Kyiv is in talks with countries like Turkey and the UK about security guarantees for Ukrainian ships. It is important for us that there is a security corridor, that the fleet of this or that country ensures the shipping of the grain, Zelenskyy said. Zelenskyy adds that if now we have 22 to 25 million tons blocked there, in the fall we might have 75 million tons. What are we going to do? He asked. That's why we can't do without the ports. DOJ moves to seize two planes from Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich. A federal judge ordered the Department of Justice to seize two private planes owned by Roman Abramovich, the Russian oligarch and ally of Vladimir Putin. Documents show the U.S. in a charging letter accused Abramovich of violating U.S. export rules by re-exporting a Gulfstream G650 into Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. The Biden administration tightened those regulations following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, in order to limit the Kremlin's access to equipment that could aid its military campaign. The customized Boeing is believed to be worth about $350 million. Making it one of the most expensive private jets in the world, according to the letter from the Department of Commerce. The Gulfstream was sold in 2020 for $60 million, the Commerce Department said. In a sworn affidavit, FBI Special Agent Alan Fowler said that Abramovich owned both planes through a series of shell companies. Since March, the Boeing has been in Dubai and the Gulfstream has been in Russia, Fowler wrote. I am satisfied that there is probable cause to believe that the property so described is subject to seizure and civil forfeiture. U.S. Magistrate Judge Sarah Cave said in an order authorizing the warrant. U.S. does not want a war with Russia. Joint Chiefs Chairman Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley reiterated that the United States does not seek a direct conflict with Russia. The United States doesn't want a war with Russia. NATO doesn't want a war with Russia, he told NBC News in Normandy, France, during events marking the 78th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. He said the U.S. would continue to provide Ukraine with military equipment as the country fights off a Russian invasion that has now gone on more than 100 days. Milley noted that Russia has faced a lot of challenges in its attempts to gain ground in Ukraine, due to the bravery and sacrifice of the Ukrainian people. Little cheer for Russian beer lovers as sanctions bite. Sorry, that was the last bottle of Czech beer we had, said a waiter at a central Moscow restaurant, a month after Russia sent troops into Ukraine and the West imposed sweeping sanctions. More than 100 days into what Russia calls a special military operation in Ukraine, foreign alcohol is still available in Moscow pubs, but the once ample reserves are dwindling. Some pubs accumulated large stocks when it all started. But, as far as I know, there have been no new deliveries ordered and confirmed after February 24, said Alexander Skripkin, who manages two bars in Moscow. Many foreign companies, including leading Western brewer in the country Carlsberg, Anheuser-Busch InBev and Heineken, have suspended sales in Russia and shipping trade has. Another Russian general reportedly killed in Ukraine. One of Moscow's top military generals has reportedly been killed in Ukraine, marking another high-profile loss for Russia if confirmed. Ukraine Center for Strategic Communications, Stratcom, of the Office of the Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported the death of Russian Major General Roman Kutuzov in a battle near Popasna in the Luhansk region. Alexander Sladkov, a war correspondent with Russian state news channel Rossiya 1, also reported on the death, stating on his Telegram channel that Kutuzov was the fourth general to die in battle and had died after leading his soldiers into the death has not yet been confirmed by Russia's military, however, and CNBC was unable to verify the claims. Russia has confirmed that 3 of its generals have died. Kyiv has claimed that 12 of Russia's generals have died during the conflict. Russian Foreign Minister cancels visit to Serbia after plane blocked. A trip by Russia's Foreign Minister to Serbia has been cancelled after several European countries would not allow the plane to travel to the southeastern European country. Bulgaria, North Macedonia and Montenegro closed their airspace so that Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov's official plane could not travel to Serbia's capital Belgrade. Lavrov described the move to block his plane as unprecedented and outrageous and said he had not received an explanation for the decision, according to comments reported by Russian state news agency TASS. He said that he would instead invite his Serbian counterpart to visit him in Moscow, commenting that the main thing is no one will be able to destroy our relations with Serbia, a country with which Russia has strong situation in Severodonetsk has deteriorated, official says, likening its destruction to Mariupol's. The situation in Severodonetsk, the focus of intense fighting in eastern Ukraine between Russian forces and Ukrainian troops, has deteriorated somewhat. According to the governor of the Luhansk, the fighting is very dynamic, Serhiy Haidai, governor of the eastern Luhansk province, said in an update on Telegram on Monday. Half of the city was recaptured during the counteroffensive, but we are now holding positions in the industrial zone, he said, adding that the amount of shelling in the Severodonetsk and Lysychansk cities has increased. He said that there are a number of cities in the Luhansk region that are in a situation comparable to Mariupol, the heavily destroyed southern port city now in the hands of. Now the Russians are leveling Severodonetsk and Lysychansk to the ground, he said. Heavy fighting is continuing around Severodonetsk in eastern Ukraine. UK says. Heavy fighting is continuing around the contested town of Severodonetsk in eastern Ukraine, Britain's Ministry of Defense said in its daily intelligence update. In addition, Russian forces continue to push towards Slavyansk as part of their attempted encirclement of Ukrainian forces, the ministry said. Russian forces are also likely to have moved multiple air defense assets to Snake Island in the western Black Sea in order to provide protection for its ships operating in the area, according to the ministry. That follows the loss of the flagship Moskva cruiser in April. Russia's activity on Snake Island contributes to its blockade of the Ukrainian coast and hinders the resumption of maritime trade, including exports of Ukrainian grain, the UK said.